They say the forest keeps its own secrets, that some shadows walk upright, and when the moon hangs low and the wind turns sharp, something ancient moves between the trees. Witnesses describe a towering figure with the head of a wolf and the stride of a man, a creature that watches from the tree line, tracks you without sound, and vanishes before dawn. Tonight, we step into the documented encounters of the Dogman. Stories written in police reports, radio logs, and trembling eyewitness accounts. Stories that insist one thing: you are never as alone in the woods as you think. Thank you for watching Rick's Storyverse. Tonight, we walk a narrow trail between folklore and fact, and the shadows are already moving. The earliest documented Dogman encounter comes from Wexford County, Michigan, in 1887. Two lumberjacks reported a creature standing on two legs, covered in dark fur, with a canine head and glowing eyes. They said it watched them from the ridge, silent, unmoving, until it let out a howl that didn't belong to any wolf they knew. That report sat in a dusty county archive for decades, but it wasn't alone. In 1938, a man near Paris, Michigan, claimed a dog-headed man broke into his barn. He said it stood upright, sniffing the air, before dropping to all fours and sprinting into the night. Deputies found claw marks on the barn door, 5 feet off the ground. These weren't campfire tales. They were written statements, signed, filed, and forgotten, until the sightings returned. In Big Rapids, Michigan, a security guard patrolling a manufacturing plant saw a figure crouched near the fence. He thought it was a man, until it stood up. 7 feet tall, broad shoulders, a long snout, and eyes that reflected red in his flashlight beam. He raised his weapon. The creature tilted its head, studying him with unsettling calm. Then it stepped backward into the darkness and disappeared. Guard filed a report. The responding officer later admitted he believed him because he had seen the same thing 2 years earlier. In Luther, Michigan, a teenage boy was riding his bike down a dirt road when he heard something pacing him in the woods. He pedaled faster. The sound kept up. Branches snapping, heavy footfalls, heavy breathing. He looked left. A creature ran up beside him, right up beside him, matching his speed with terrifying ease. It had the head of a wolf, the body of a man, and a grin full of teeth. He dropped the bike and ran. He didn't look back, not once. Years later, he still refused to go near that road. A family in Wisconsin reported scratching on their farmhouse walls for 3 nights straight. Not mice, not raccoons, something bigger, heavier, something deliberate. On the 4th night, the father stepped outside with a shotgun. He saw a tall, fur-covered figure standing at the edge of the cornfield. It stared at him, unblinking, then let out a low growl that vibrated in his chest. He fired. The creature didn't fall. It didn't run. It simply stepped backward into the corn and vanished. The next morning, they did find tracks, large, deep, and shaped like a wolf's, but with the weight of a man. A truck driver heading through rural Ohio saw what he thought was a deer on the shoulder. As he approached, the creature stood upright. Not a deer, not even close. It turned toward the truck, revealing a canine face and long, muscular arms. The driver swerved. The creature slapped the side of the trailer with enough force to leave a dent the size of a dinner plate. He didn't stop. He didn't slow down. He didn't sleep for 2 days. A hunter in northern Wisconsin set up a trail cam near his deer stand. When he checked the footage, he found a single frame that froze his blood. A tall, wolf-headed figure stood between the trees, shoulders hunched, arms long, eyes reflecting the infrared light. The hunter quit the season early and never returned to that stand. Photos circulated online. Experts argued. Some said hoax, some said misidentification. But the hunter never changed his story. He knew what he saw, and it wasn't natural. People camping in the Upper Peninsula woke to the sound of something circling their tent. Slow, heavy, measured. A man unzipped the flap and shined a light into the dark. Two eyes stared back, tall, level with his own, yellow, reflective, unblinking. The creature exhaled, fogging the cold air. Then it pressed a clawed hand against the tent fabric, dragging it downward in a long, slow, deliberate stroke. They left everything behind: tent, gear, cooler. They drove until sunrise. When rangers checked the site, they found prints around the tent, deep, bipedal, and ending abruptly at the tree line, as if the creature stepped into the forest and vanished. Across decades and states, the reports share the same details. A creature 7 feet tall, a wolf's head, a man's stride, eyes that reflect light like a predator, and a presence that feels intelligent, aware, watching. Witnesses describe the same thing. It doesn't attack, it doesn't flee, it observes, as if deciding something, and then it disappears. Not running, not crashing through the bush, just gone. As if the forest itself swallows it whole. Is the dogman a misidentified animal, a legend that refuses to die, or something older, something that walks the line between man and beast? Whatever it is, the stories keep coming, from hunters, from hikers, from police officers, from people who swear they saw something impossible. And every one of them says the same thing. The dogman watches first, then chooses whether to be seen. I would like to end this story with a poem, and here's the poem. The forest keeps its secrets close beneath the moon's cold silver light, and something walks on 2 long legs, a shadow born of ancient night. Its eyes reflect a hunter's fire, a gaze that chills the drifting air, a creature neither wolf nor man, yet somehow caught between the pair. It stalks the paths where silence grows, where branches twist and stories hide, a sentinel of whispered myths that moves with dark and measured stride. It leaves no trace but heavy prints, then fades before the break of day, a phantom carved from tooth and fear that watches travelers lose their way. So heed the woods when dusk descends, for legends breathe when stars ignite, and Dogman walks the edge of man, unseen unless he thinks he might. That's another story on the edge of night. Please like and subscribe to keep the torch alight. Good night.